Well, we're going to talk about our freestyle Weight Watcher meeting highlights today. I found this book in my envelope here, and I thought I'm going to get this out and refresh myself and see what's going on with the, if I'm doing something wrong, because I had a gain today, and I don't understand why I had a gain. I really don't understand why I had a gain. I followed the program perfectly this week. Well, not, take that back. I followed the plan. Let's just not say perfectly. Obviously, it wasn't perfectly because I had a gain of 0.5. So back up to 236, but at least I'm not in the 40s. So I'm still going the wrong way. I gave myself a what? What? And then I gave myself this little devil because it's like the devil was doing it to me. It really was this week because I did eat out twice, but I thought I made smart choices when I ate out. And I tried something a little different this week. I usually eat my weeklies on the weekend. I thought I'm going to take this week and I'm going to divide them up during the week and use them all during the week. And it didn't work. But I'm going to do it for another week because I'm not going to judge it by 1 week. You know, I'm going to test the theory again. I'm going to do it one more week. So I have a total loss of 68.2. I'll show you that again. Total loss of 68.2. And I do like the freestyle. I know a lot of people don't like the freestyle. I do like the freestyle. It does seem to work for me. But and the recipe is for a BLT breakfast sandwich. I don't know. I'll put the menu. I'll put the recipe at the end, and you can decide if you want to. Today the meeting was about choose your moves, and we didn't talk about it. So I'm going to kind of give you my synopsis of something about Weight Watchers freestyle. But in here it tells you it's human nature. You're more likely to stick with something if you enjoy it. So WW Freestyle gives you that chance. Gives you the chance to eat what you want and approach activity in a similar way. And what you need to do is choose a movement or an action that works for you. If it doesn't work for you to eat fat-free foods, don't eat fat-free foods. I don't like a fat-free cottage cheese. I use the full 4%. I just eat a little bit less of it. Or I continue to use the points and just figure it into my plan. I don't like anything fat-free. A lot of things that are fat-free really have more calories. So you just have to judge what you want. If it's something that you have to eat, you're not going to eat it. You're just going to only eat it for so long. And then they tell you you need to pick physical activity. Any activity you can pick will pay off in the long run. It helps you to manage your stress, reduce your risk of depression, and even helps you sleep better. And I can't argue with that point because it really does. And when you combine activity with eating better, you see up to a 20% greater weight loss than just changing your weight, your eating habits. You need to have the exercise, and I know that. Eating alone, or not eating alone, but you know, just the fact of your choice of eating doesn't alone make the difference in your weight loss, or just exercising. You need to combine both of them. And you need to focus on a feel-good aspect of the activity. Don't pick something that you're going to get done and say, okay, I walked on the treadmill. I don't like walking on a treadmill. To me, that's exercise. I'm going to get outside and walk. I like walking in the cold because I find for myself that I think that the cold expels more energy for me trying to keep my body warm, so it burns more energy and I lose more weight. That's what I think. It seems to work for me. I didn't get a lot of activity in the day. I did go up to Lowe's and walk a couple days, but I don't think I walk as vigorously in the stores as I do outside, and I think that makes the difference. But the quote that she has today was, I'm working on myself, for myself, by myself. You're doing this for yourself. If you're trying to do it for someone else, you're going to fail. You need to know that you want to do it for yourself. And you need to pick the reason why you're doing it for yourself. You have to figure out why you want to do it. Don't be self-depreciating and say, well, I'm fat and I'm ugly and blah, blah. No, just think, well, I want to do it because I want to look better in my clothes. I want to feel better, that I can move a little bit more. Look at the positive aspect of it. Don't look at the negative aspect. And everybody's going to have different stages in their weight loss. And the way you can figure out your different stages is you have to really think about your food, your mindset, and your activities. And a lot of times you need to revisit your why. It doesn't matter how long you've been on your weight loss program. Your why is always going to change. When I first started, it was just to have everyone in my family lose weight together. And then they all fell to the wayside, and then it was just me on there. So then I had to rechange it. Well, then my next goal was just to get into the next set of digits. And so then when I was able to accomplish that, then my next goal was to get into a certain pair of jeans. And then after I got into those jeans, my goal was to stay in those jeans, but maybe go into the next size smaller. And when I was walking, I started off, I could only walk a half a mile. When I started my walking, I could only get a half a mile in. I have worked my way back up to 3 miles. Lately, I've only been walking a mile and a half, only because of the cold, really. Because I still think I could walk 3 miles. I should split it in half, walk a mile and a half, and then a mile and a half later on in the day. But I think that's quite an accomplishment from just being able to just barely walk around. My block, the little short part of my block is a half a mile. If I walk the whole block, it's a mile. So it was when I started just walking that first half, the smaller block, it was like a chore. Now I'm thinking I should walk around here a couple more times. And after you revisit your whys, always remember that it doesn't say that if you have a new why, it doesn't mean that the old why was not the right one. Maybe the old why that you did it didn't work for you, and you had to think, well, you know, this why is not working. Let me think of a different why. Always keep moving in the right path, moving forward. And then you need to remember too, like I get 23 points, which means that you can go 10 under or 5 over. So I can have my range go anywhere from 13 to 28. That doesn't necessarily mean, which I did notice that this week when I was adding the 6 points and thinking I had 29 points, I kept thinking each day, well, I have 29 points. I can use 29 points today. Obviously, that doesn't work for my body. Just because I had points left doesn't mean I had to use them. As long as I'm within the range, I'm being healthy. So I could have ate the 13 points and still carried over those extra points and not had to use them. And I probably would have had a loss. But you need to learn little steps along the way. You learn the different things. And then ask yourself these questions. How did we get to where we are today? I've lost, like I told you, a total of 68.2, I even forgot. 68.2. At one point I was up to 77, but I'm working my way back there. But you have to say, how did I get to that 68 pounds? It wasn't because somebody came and tapped me on the head and said, okay, you lost 68 pounds. I had to work for those pounds. And it's work worth doing. It really is. And you have to ask yourself, am I intent to change my lifestyle? Do I really want to change my lifestyle? I slip and fall just like everybody else, and I fall into my old eating habits, and I go crazy, or cray-cray, as I like to say, and think that I can do that again, and I can't. And after I eat like that, for the moment, I'm thinking, this is really good. I remember eating like this. This is pretty good. I like this. I really like this. Why did I leave? Why did I stop? And then the next day I wake up and I go, oh, now I know. Now I remember why I stopped. I didn't sleep well last night. I woke up this morning starving, and I can't satisfy my urges of what I want. I keep craving, but whatever I eat is not what I'm craving. And then I think, you know what? I think it's because of the way I ate yesterday. Ding, like the moment that goes off. And sometimes we just think, is this lifestyle just easier? Yeah, it's easier to run up to Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's. It is so much easier. I so agree, just to get the hamburger and fries and stuff. But you can make that same hamburger, well, not the same hamburger, let's be honest. It's not the same hamburger. But it's a better hamburger. It's not as salty because they use so many preservatives in their burgers and stuff. Just even when you eat out, they use so much preservatives, and that's why you always have a sodium gain the next day. It's because of the preservatives they use. Now maybe I figured out why I gained is the preservatives. See, like when you talk to yourself and it comes out, then you remember. But it is easier. Sometimes it's just hard to get a whole meal on the table. That's why you should prep things. I make chili and I freeze them in the freezer. I make like little chicken things. I grill up my meat for tacos, and then I freeze them in the little portion-sized bags so that when I want to have like a taco, if I decide tonight I want to have a taco, I just take out the meat from the freezer. Sometimes I'll make some sauces, and I'll put that in the freezer. I am trying to be a little bit better on a food budget this year, as far as not spending so much at Kroger's. So I'm eating more out of my freezer, and I'm forgetting that I have all this stuff frozen in the freezer, and it's easier than just popping it out, letting it sitting out and thaw, and then microwave it. Sometimes it's just better than just going to the fast food place. Number 2 is you need to make a decision to move forward. I always want to think of tomorrow. I did pretty good today, but what can I do better tomorrow? There's always the next day, the next meal that you can always do a little bit better than you did at that meal. You know, sometimes you may be just being perfect and there's no way to move better, but you're still moving forward with the plan of continuing on eating properly the way you were today. And you need to ask yourself why. Use the W-H-Y. W for what, H for how, and why. Why do you want to do what's best for you? You can also create your own little burst of energy, your own little burst of motivation. You can just say, you know what? For the month of February, because February is next week, you know, for the month of February, I think I'm going to make myself eat an extra piece of fruit a day. I don't need to eat an extra piece of fruit a day. That was a bad example. As you can see, if you watch my daily vlog, I eat a lot of fruit. I'm going to eat extra vegetables. Or I'm going to have, no, this is even better for me. I'm going to have one less day of eating bacon because I eat a lot of bacon. And bacon is very salty, and really it's not as good for you as it should be. But, you know, I know there's turkey bacon, and I do like turkey bacon, but I like a good center cut piece of bacon. That's what I'm going to, but you know, unfortunately, I've already had a piece of bacon for my breakfast today. So, but that's my plan for February. This is January. You know, I'm going to do that for February. And everybody goes into that honeymoon period when you're on your weight loss. You feel eager to do whatever you're going to do. You're going to do whatever it takes. You're going to lose this weight. You're so committed. You know you're going to do this. And it's just like in your marriage. You know, like when you get married, everything's all hunky-dory, and you go on your honeymoon, and you go to the beach, or you go, I went to Cedar Point. I was young. I was 20. We went to Cedar Point, which is an amusement park. If anybody doesn't know what that is, it's an amusement park. But that's where Jim and I went for our honeymoon. And every marriage has a honeymoon period. But then you reach that point where sometimes it's work. It just is work. And you have to think, is it worth it? Jim and I have been married. In July, it'll be 48 years. We've had our honeymoon periods, and we've had our working periods. Sometimes you just really have to work. And that's the same with your diet plan. Sometimes you just have to work at it. It's not going to come easy. You're going to pass that honeymoon stage. That doesn't mean that you're not going to go back into it. Even with a marriage, you always have that honeymoon when you first get married. You have that little drudgery in between, but then you have that little burst of energy in your marriage again, and you have that honeymoon period again. Not all marriages, I understand. I know that there's divorces and stuff like that. But for the most part, even before some people got divorced, I do think that there was probably a period in their marriage that it was very joyful, very happy. But then, unfortunately, it came to an end. I understand that. But when you're making all of these changes, you have to question yourself, and you have to ask yourself, are these sustainable for the long haul? I can say, I'm going to eat 5 pieces of fruit. I'm going to eat 5 vegetables every day. I'm going to have my grains. I'm going to eat off the food pyramid. I'm going to do everything perfectly. I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. That's not sustainable. I'm never going to eat out ever again. That's not sustainable. I am going to eat out. I know I am. And then sometimes you have to think of the thing of the thrill is gone. That's the most frustrating stage. You're at a stage where, you know, like today, I had a small gain of 0.5. I'm at the stage where, you know what, the thrill is gone. I looked at my book. I had 4 weeks in a row that I had a loss. Well, the thrill is gone. The 4 weeks are gone. You know, but I'm going to start again. I'm going to start again. I'm not going to let it bother me. And you need to do whatever you can to support yourself to get back to the 3 pillars of your weight loss, which is food, mindset, and activity. You have to have a renewed resolve and know that you have to tell yourself that you're at a stage where you know what the weight loss feels like. You know that it's not going to come easy, but you're ready to work really hard to make sure it happens. Always remember to find your purpose. Don't lose your weight for someone else. Find your purpose of why you want to lose your weight. I want to lose my weight because I want to live longer. I want to have less people carrying my coffin. I want to, or not less people. I only want 6 people. I don't want 8 or 10 because, oh my gosh. Or I don't want people saying, I'm not going to be a pallbearer. I like Sandy, but I don't want to carry her because she's a little too heavy. I don't want that. And align your thoughts with your plan. Like, align them. Is this really going to be sustainable? Is this something really I can do? Is it really going to work? And then take action. I'm going to get back to walking. It's going to be, I'm not next week because we're supposed to be below 0 all next week. And I'm not going to walk outside when it's dangerous. But I'm going to get exercise in. I'm going to get activity in. And always remember that your lifestyle changes are going to always change. And you need to keep up with your new habits. Even when you have a bad day, you have to know this was just one bad day, and I'm not going to let this one bad day control my whole future. You can even have one bad meal. Go on to the next meal. I realize that sometimes that one bad meal is going to lead to the whole day being shot. If that's what you need to do, let the whole day go to hell and back. And what is it? Go to hell in a handbasket. Let that one day go. If that's what you really needed for that one day, just to go crazy, to do what you want, then the next day when you get up, don't feel any guilt about the day before. You had the day, you realized it didn't work, and then move on and learn from that day. Don't have guilt about the day that you went crazy. Maybe you just needed that one day off. Everybody needs a day off. When you work or whatever, you need a day off. And sometimes, maybe you need a day off from a weight loss. It's only as long as you only make it one day. Don't let it carry over. And ask yourself what drives you. And don't let fear determine what you're going to go. Don't be fearful of, well, I made a poor choice yesterday, so I guess that means that I don't know how to do this. You know how to do it. You had one bad day. You had a slip up. It's done. Move on. That's all you got to worry about. So anyway, that's how I hope I have a better loss next week. I hate to come on here giving you highlights when I had a gain. But I just think that I'd like to show that it's not all roses. It's not all wine and roses. What, days of wine and roses? It's not like that. We all struggle. We all have gains. We all have losses. I want to get back to losing, obviously, but we'll see what happens. But just remember, it's wonderful. It's wonderful because this is my success story, and I am going to be successful. I am going to do better, and that's all I can say. So leave this video a like. Please leave a comment. Let me know what your purpose is of losing weight. Why do you want to lose weight? And share if you think somebody might like it. And subscribe. We love everybody here. We love everybody here. So I will see you guys next week, or else I'll see you on my daily vlog. Okay, here's the recipe for the BLT and egg breakfast salad. I love salads, but I don't know so much about a breakfast salad. But obviously it has just about everything other than the kale in it that I do like. But I wouldn't put a fried egg. I'm not a big fan of fried eggs. I might put cut up a hard-boiled egg, put a hard-boiled egg in it instead of that. There's the nutritional information. So let me know if you try it. Let me know if you like it.